Have you ever wondered why some gardens explode with color for just a couple of weeks, while others seem to bloom nonstop from early summer all the way into fall? The difference isn't magic, and it's not about having rare or expensive plants. It all comes down to which perennials you choose. Some varieties shine for a moment and fade fast, while others are built to keep the show going for months. In this video, we're focusing on the second group, the true marathon bloomers. I've put together a list of 10 powerhouse perennials that can create a garden so consistent, so vibrant, that it feels like your yard is running its own long-lasting flower festival. These aren't high-maintenance divas or tricky plants that need constant attention. They're reliable, tough, and designed by nature to perform across the entire season. And here's the best part. Creating a garden that blooms from June to October isn't complicated at all. You don't need landscape design skills, and you don't need dozens of plants. If you pick the right selection, the right 10, your garden can transform from short-lived bursts of color into a smooth, uninterrupted wave of blooms. Today, I'll show you exactly which plants make that possible, and how they work together to keep your garden glowing for months. Let's dive in. Before we jump into the list, there's one simple idea you need to understand. Something I like to call the bloom relay. Think of your garden as a team, not a collection of random plants. Each perennial has its own natural moment to shine. Some burst into color as soon as summer begins. Others peak in midsummer, and a few keep the show running well into fall. The trick isn't finding one perfect plant. It's choosing a sequence of plants that hand off the baton to each other as the season moves forward. In a moment, we'll look at the top 10 perennials that make this system almost effortless. Each one covers a specific part of the season, and together they create a continuous ribbon of color from early summer straight through fall. If you want your garden to start the season with confidence, catmint is the plant that sets the stage. It's one of the earliest perennials to wake up and put on a show, covering itself in clouds of soft lavender blue blooms when most flowers are still stretching after winter. That early color does more than look pretty. It creates momentum, giving your garden an immediate sense of life and fullness. But the real magic of catmint is its staying power. After the first big flush, all it needs is a quick trim, and it begins pushing out fresh waves of flowers like nothing happened. This simple reset keeps it blooming well into midsummer, making it one of the most dependable long-season performers you can grow. Catmint is also incredibly forgiving. Poor soil, heat, drought, neglect. It shrugs off everything. It softens harsh lines, fills awkward gaps, and weaves gently around neighboring plants without overwhelming them. Pollinators swarm to it, from sunrise to sunset, and deer typically leave it alone, which is always a bonus. As the first runner in your bloom relay, catmint doesn't just open the season, it sets the rhythm for the months ahead, ensuring your garden begins with energy, texture, and color. If catmint is the opener, Roseanne geranium is the star athlete who refuses to stop running. This plant is famous among gardeners for one simple reason. It blooms longer than almost any perennial you can grow. From late spring until the first true frost, it produces a constant stream of large violet blue flowers with glowing centers, each one floating above a mound of bright green foliage. What makes Roseanne special isn't just the length of bloom, it's how effortlessly it performs. You don't need to deadhead it, fuss with it, or feed it constantly. It just keeps going. It spreads in a graceful, almost painterly way, weaving between taller plants, spilling over paths, and filling empty spaces that would otherwise look bare. This makes it an incredible connector plant, one that pulls the whole garden together visually. Even in scorching summers, Roseanne stays fresh and full, refusing to collapse when other perennials start to fade. It bridges the early and midsummer phases seamlessly, covering any downtime between other big bloomers. And because it pairs beautifully with nearly every texture and color, it fits into cottage gardens, modern landscapes, and wild-style plantings equally well. In the bloom relay, Roseanne is the calm, steady force that keeps the garden energized through the longest stretch of the season. A true marathoner that ensures your borders never lose steam. All right, next up, hybrid coneflowers, the strong, vibrant personalities of the midsummer garden. These plants step in just as early bloomers begin to fade, bringing structure, height, and a burst of unmistakable color. Thanks to years of selective breeding, hybrid coneflowers now come in an impressive range of shades. Fiery oranges, deep reds, soft blush pinks, sunny yellows, and even unusual greens and doubles. No matter your garden style, there's a coneflower that fits right in. Their biggest strength is reliability. Once they start blooming in early summer, they keep going with almost no downtime. Each bloom sits proudly on a sturdy stem, holding up through heat, humidity, and sudden weather changes. Their upright form gives your garden backbone, creating clear focal points that stay visible even from a distance. Wildlife loves them just as much as gardeners do. Bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds visit constantly, and later in the season, the dried seed heads become natural bird feeders. Hybrid coneflowers ask for surprisingly little in return: a sunny spot, decent drainage, and the occasional deadheading if you want an extra long encore. As the centerpiece of your summer display, hybrid coneflowers bring steady color, dependable performance, and a wave of pollinator activity that keeps the garden buzzing all season long. Switching gears, Russian sage is a plant that adds atmosphere rather than bold, heavy statements. Its tall, airy stems are covered in tiny lavender blue flowers, forming a soft, shimmering haze that instantly gives a garden a more open, breezy feel. Even the slightest wind sets the whole plant in motion, adding elegance and movement that few other perennials can match. Russian sage begins blooming in midsummer and keeps going well into fall, often outperforming other plants during heat waves and drought. Its silvery foliage reflects sunlight beautifully, creating a cool-toned contrast that pairs perfectly with warm yellows, pinks, and oranges in the surrounding border. What makes Russian sage so valuable is how effortlessly it blends into a design. It fills open spaces without crowding its neighbors, softens harsh edges, and creates depth by acting as a semi-transparent backdrop for bolder flowers. It's also incredibly low maintenance, resistant to deer, loved by pollinators, and nearly impossible to kill once established. As a mid to late season performer, Russian sage brings cohesion, lightness, and a long-lasting wash of color that carries your garden gracefully toward autumn. Time for the black-eyed Susan, a plant that radiates pure summer energy and dominates the late summer garden with its bold golden blooms. Each flower forms a perfect sunny disc with a dark center, creating a striking contrast that catches the eye even from a distance. These cheerful perennials bring warmth and light to your borders when many early season favorites are winding down. Black-eyed Susans are incredibly reliable. Once established, they bloom steadily through mid to late summer, often overlapping with the tail end of coneflowers and Russian sage. Their upright stems form strong vertical lines, giving structure to mixed beds and complementing softer, more airy textures in the garden. Beyond their visual impact, these plants are ecological champions. Bees, butterflies, and even hummingbirds flock to their nectar-rich flowers. While birds love their seed heads in fall, they thrive in full sun, tolerate a range of soils, and rarely demand special care. Black-eyed Susans are perfect for gardeners seeking a low-maintenance, high-impact plant that keeps the color flowing through August, bridging midsummer vibrancy with the first hints of autumn. Up next, Monarda, a perennial that turns your garden into a lively, buzzing spectacle. Also known as bee balm, Monarda is famous for its bright, brush-like flower clusters, which range from vivid reds and magentas to soft pinks and purples. The combination of eye-catching color, height, and texture makes it a dramatic focal point in any planting scheme. Monarda isn't just about looks, it's a magnet for pollinators. Bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds can't resist the sweet, tubular flowers, turning your borders into a lively, moving display of life. The plant's aromatic foliage adds another layer of sensory pleasure, filling the garden with a gentle, minty scent whenever the leaves are brushed or crushed. This perennial blooms generously in mid to late summer, perfectly complementing black-eyed Susans and coneflowers. while extending your garden's vibrant color palette. Its strong, upright habit allows it to hold its own among taller plants, and it fills gaps beautifully without overshadowing neighboring perennials. Monarda thrives in full sun with good drainage and tolerates heat and humidity, making it a low-fuss but high-impact choice for gardeners seeking drama, fragrance, and wildlife activity in equal measure. Shifting our focus to Japanese anemone, a perennial that brings elegance and airy movement to the late-season garden. These graceful plants burst into bloom just when summer favorites begin to fade, producing delicate cup-shaped flowers in shades of soft pink, white, or blush. Each bloom floats above slender, arching stems, creating a sense of motion that makes borders feel lighter and more dynamic. Japanese anemones thrive in full to partial sun and appreciate well-drained soil. Their long-lasting blooms often continue well into fall, carrying color and texture when many other perennials have already finished. The way the flowers sway in the breeze adds a subtle kinetic energy to the garden, making your beds feel alive even on calm days. These perennials also serve as perfect companions for mid-season plants like Monarda or black-eyed Susans. Their airy form contrasts with bold, upright stems, softening edges and creating depth. They're low maintenance, resistant to pests, and reliably return year after year, making them a fantastic choice for gardeners seeking a refined, flowing aesthetic in the autumn months. Japanese anemones provide that graceful, lingering finale, extending the beauty of your garden long after the summer sun begins to wane. Moving on to sedum, this succulent perennial wraps up the late-season color with style. These tough, drought-tolerant plants form dense, fleshy foliage, topped with flat clusters of flowers in pinks, reds, and soft blushes, lasting from late summer through fall. Sedum provides structure, texture, and long-lasting visual interest with minimal effort. The blooms keep your garden vibrant even as the days shorten, and pollinators and birds are drawn to its nectar and seed heads. Its upright, architectural form contrasts beautifully with airy plants like Japanese anemones, adding weight and dimension to the border. Sedum doesn't just shine in autumn, its sculptural seed heads remain decorative into winter, giving your garden year-round appeal. Easy to grow in full sun and tolerance of poor soil, sedum is the resilient, low-maintenance performer that closes your bloom relay, ensuring continuous energy and beauty until frost. Let's roll with hardy hibiscus, the plant that brings a touch of the tropics to even the most temperate garden. These perennials are impossible to miss. Their enormous, vibrant blooms, often the size of dinner plates, explode in shades of pink, red, and white, creating an instant wow factor in August and September. Hardy hibiscus thrives in full sun and rich, well-drained soil, producing tall, upright stems that support those spectacular flowers without flopping. Each bloom lasts only a day, but the plants are so generous that flowers keep appearing in waves throughout late summer, giving you a continuous display of bold tropical flair. Beyond beauty, these hibiscus plants attract pollinators, including hummingbirds, while their lush foliage adds a tropical texture to borders and mixed beds. Hardy hibiscus is the perfect choice if you want a statement maker, a plant that commands attention and transforms an ordinary garden into a striking late summer paradise. Finishing strong with Stella d'Oro daylily, the perennial that keeps your garden glowing from start to finish. This compact yet vigorous plant produces waves of golden yellow blooms from late spring all the way through fall, ensuring your borders stay cheerful and vibrant for months on end. Its consistent performance makes it incredibly versatile. Stella d'Oro can line pathways, fill gaps between taller perennials, or serve as a foundation in flower beds. Each clump multiplies steadily, giving you more color each year with minimal effort, making it a gardener's dream for a low-fuss, high-impact plant. This daylily thrives in full sun, tolerates heat and drought, and is nearly pest-proof, making it ideal for beginners or anyone seeking dependable beauty without constant maintenance. By providing long-lasting color from early summer through the first frost, Stella d'Oro perfectly closes your bloom relay, ensuring your garden ends the season on a high note. It's the ultimate all-season performer that guarantees every border looks full, coordinated, and consistently bright. To make your garden truly shine all season, think in layers and waves. Start with early season movers like catmint and Roseanne geranium to set the spring to early summer rhythm. Then let midsummer stars, coneflowers, monarda, and black-eyed Susans take the spotlight, filling the peak with bold color and structure. Finally, carry the energy into late summer and fall with hardy hibiscus, Japanese anemones, and sedum, ensuring your borders never lose momentum. The key is grouping 3 to 5 plants of the same variety together to create solid color blocks that read well from a distance, while still allowing each plant's texture and form to show up close. This simple framework makes your garden flow seamlessly from one wave of blooms to the next, keeping every border vibrant and interesting from June through October. Maintaining this continuous show of blooms is surprisingly easy. Catmint only needs a light trim after its first flush to push out a fresh wave of flowers. Monarda benefits from division every 3 years to stay vigorous and healthy. Leaving the seed heads of coneflowers and black-eyed Susans over the winter provides natural structure, food for birds, and extra garden interest when the growing season ends. A layer of mulch around all 10 perennials helps retain soil moisture, suppress weeds, and protect roots, creating a foundation of soil health that supports effortless performance year after year. With just these simple steps, your bloom relay keeps running, pollinators stay active, and every plant performs at its best, letting you enjoy a lush, colorful garden without constant maintenance. Now that you've seen the top 10 marathon bloomers, here's my challenge for you. Pick just 3 from the list and start your own seasonal relay. Whether it's catmint to kick things off, Roseanne geranium to carry the energy through summer, or Stella d'Oro daylily to finish strong, even a small selection can transform your garden into a continuous wave of color. You don't need to plant everything at once. Start simple, see what thrives in your space, and build from there. I'd love to hear from you. Which perennial is your personal favorite, the one you can't imagine your garden without? Drop it in the comments below and share why it's your go-to. Your insights could inspire someone else to try something new, and I always enjoy seeing what flowers get gardeners excited. And if you're ready for more, stay tuned for the next video in the series. We'll explore the ultimate low-maintenance perennials, the plants that bloom on their own, year after year, with almost no care. These are the real unsung heroes of the garden, the ones that make a beautiful landscape effortless. By combining these two approaches, the bloom relay and the self-sufficient performers, you'll have a garden that's colorful, full, and lively from early spring straight through fall, with minimal stress and maximum enjoyment. Remember, gardening is about setting yourself up for success. Start small, choose the plants you love, and let nature do the choreography. By the time the next season rolls around, you'll have a rhythm in your borders, a palette of blooms that never quits, and a garden that truly feels alive. So pick your 3, dig in, and watch your own long-lasting flower festival come to life.